The Indian River County Chamber of Commerce does not endorse any political candidates. We provide these videos to our community and to our members to offer them the opportunity to be educated as we go into a busy political season. Introducing Tracey Zudans, running for Board of County Commissioners, District 5.
I'm Tracey Zudans. I am currently running for County Commission, District 5 for Indian River County, but I sit on our Vero Beach City Council, and prior to that, I was on our Indian River County Hospital District. We have raised 4 children over the last 22 years here in Indian River County, and we call this home for a reason, because we love it here. We have businesses here in town. We've done philanthropic work here in town. We invest time, tithe, and talent here because we love Indian River County so much. So I consider it a blessing and an honor to be able to serve in this capacity for our community. So I always get the question, why do you want to be a county commissioner? And the very simple answer is, I want to bring common sense to local government because everything starts local. Doesn't matter what you see on a national scale, everything starts local, and making an investment in the local community is what I want to do. But you have to do it on a rational, logical, common sense way. So that's what I'm going to bring. So I think the 3 basic, most important challenges that the community faces right now is growth, number 1. And if you look at any of the polling statistics, conversations with people in our community, people talk about overdevelopment, growth, change of quality of life and community, infrastructure. All of those things encompass growth. And that can be density. That can sound scary too. We're dealing with that on a city level downtown, talking about density and changing density. But people see extreme traffic. They see developers coming in from out of town and not using local developers, or they see an issue at a county level when it talks about growth. And I want to do graceful growth. In our community, graceful growth means we're going to expect population growth. We expect that at least 37,000 people coming over the next, 20 years or so. And to do that gracefully and not lose the character and charm of our community is the strategic planning that needs to happen going forward. And they haven't done that in the past. And so that's something that I'm going to bring is graceful growth when it comes to strategic planning and infrastructure. Also, there's an entire overhaul that needs to happen in our building department, inspections and things like that, which will also kind of eliminate some of that culture issue that happens when you're dealing with development too. So a second one that's very important is infrastructure in general. Although it falls under growth, which is the number 1 thing that people talk about right now, infrastructure is also part of that growth because you're dealing with water, sewer, lagoon health, even public safety, which would be the third thing that I would talk about, is part of your infrastructure. You have to have not only that graceful growth, but the ability to do the infrastructure behind that. That means, what are you going to be when you grow up as Indian River County? And as you develop, how are you going to create an infrastructure that is business friendly, local business friendly, or are you bringing businesses here? And are you going to be able to supply the infrastructure and the ease of getting through the process of developing to do that? And how are developers going to be in charge of some of that infrastructure, and how are you going to pass the cost on to that versus increasing taxes or something along those lines? The third thing is public safety is really the number 1 responsibility of government in general. And so public safety is not only the sheriff's department, it's also fire. And so one of my big things is making sure that we have a really good response time from our firefighters, but also the infrastructure within our fire department to offer that public safety. And that we're not just a training ground here. It's important that the people that we train for law enforcement and fire safety stay here. So we need to make sure that we're giving them everything that they need as well. So public safety would be the third thing that, as a county commissioner, I'm going to be working on. So I have a vision for Indian River County, and it's not just a dream. It really is to use a common sense approach when it comes to local government so that we can keep the character and charm of our community. We moved here for a reason. I raised my children here for a reason. People stay here for a reason. They don't want the overgrowth. They want the character and charm that they come to know and love and that they deserve. And I want to make sure that that happens with a common sense approach. As a county commissioner, as an elected official in general, it's important that you know that you are a public servant. And so I started with nonprofits and philanthropy, and that carried on into being a public servant for our community as an elected official, whether it was on the hospital district and dealing with changing management for our hospital, or whether it is dealing with Three Corners for the city of Vero Beach, or moving water and sewer and whatnot. It requires relationships. And one of the most important things that you can do as a county commissioner is make sure that you have relationships with the other municipalities that exist in your community. They are not by themselves. For us to actually do something here as a community that is impactful and amazing, you have to include each and every municipality and make sure that they have a voice as well. And I think that I have really good relationships with the different municipalities and leaders in our community, different businesses, local businesses that are super important to the vitality of our community. I want to take all of that and make sure that as a county commission, we're all working together towards a common goal, and that is to make Indian River County the best place to live in the state of Florida.